Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about Hungry Fat Chick or Candy. We have not talked about Candy in quite a while, so I wanted to do a little bit of an update. I've had quite a few people that have messaged me asking me to talk about her and see what's going on. So with Candy, I think the best way to explain what has been going on recently is definitely a roller coaster ride. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and I'm going to do my best to kind of talk about the ups and downs and share how things are going. So Candy is, for those of you that don't know, is someone that is a very large individual, a very large woman that is trying to lose weight, but also wants to do mukbangs on YouTube because that's kind of her income, right? And so her whole thing that she struggles with is wanting to lose weight and feeling that she kind of has to lose weight for her current situation is really bad with her weight and all of that stuff in her health, but also she makes money on YouTube by eating unhealthy foods, large amounts of unhealthy foods on camera, right? And so she is trying to balance the want and need and desire. I believe that she does have a desire to lose weight with also the need for, housing and being able to pay her bills. And so it's kind of been an interesting saga. She is someone that has always been very interesting to me. I am always relatively nice about her because I do like Candy. I think that she's a good person. I think that there's definitely some things that she does that I think are a little silly and that I am not a huge, fan of. But I am... I see the things that she's trying to do and I just want to see her be successful. That is basically how things go with her and how I feel about her. But lately, Candy has been kind of struggling. And we are going to go over, the first thing that I want to go over is this post right here. And this is from her second channel, Emazura Darkstar. She has a couple different channels. The second channel is where she kind of shares her weight loss journey a little bit more, and she tries to keep it off of her main channel, which is Hungry Fat Chick, where she does a lot of her mukbangs. But a lot of times the stuff kind of gets intertwined. But this post right here is kind of sharing how she's been struggling recently. So this is 6 days ago, and it says, "I'm not doing great today, y'all. There will be no mukbang on the other channel, which is her main channel, and no way in here. I'm not able to stand on the scale. I know how sad that sounds, but my hip is not good right now. I tweaked the heck out of it yesterday while working out, standing and bending, and leg lifting in bed while attempting to lift. I looked up how to do bed exercises for an injured hip and did my best. I will keep trying, but today I'm pretty broken. I'll be back as soon as I can. Right now I'm barely making it to the bathroom, and I'm just staying in bed today except to make that short trip. I'm trying to move more when I'm up on the edge of the bed, as well as standing up and down a few times when I'm able. It's not the best place to work out, but I have to move or it's game over, right?" And so she's kind of sharing the fact that she is aware that her current situation is not great, and she is trying to hold on to as much mobility as she possibly can, even though she is really struggling, right? And I hope that she continues to do that because I think that is very important. Once you lose a significant amount of mobility, it's very, very hard to regain it. And so I am at least glad that she is attempting in her way, right? Again, there's always a way that I could say, well, you should be doing this, 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 and this. And, there's a time and place for that. But I'm glad that she is, I'm bummed that she had that injury, but I'm glad that she is trying to do her best. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was actually this video right here. And so this is a mukbang that she actually just released about 2 days ago. And it's Jollibee 2-piece chicken joy meal, mashed potatoes, pineapple quencher, and peach mango pie mukbang. And in this video, she shares a lot of details about the things that she is struggling with. We're not going to be going over this entire video. We have this basically supercut that we put together that is about 9 minutes long. That is just a little bit easier to digest instead of watching the entire 30 plus minute video. And so without further ado, let's just kind of go into this and see what she has to say about the current struggles and whatnot.
Hey y'all. Today I have gotten myself some Jollibee. It's been a minute. I know I missed y'all Saturday.
I've never had Jollibee before.
Hey, sorry about that. My hip was giving me troubles. Troubles. But good news, I'm doing a lot better these last few days. So it's got the hot dogs chopped up in it.
So she's doing better, which is good, right? Because that post that we read was about 6 days ago. This was posted about 2 days ago.
Cheese on top. Man. And there's not a tomato in sight.
I don't know. Maybe this is really ridiculous to say, but like getting spaghetti from a fast food place is just like, that's so strange to me, dude.
I mean, as far as...
So it goes on to say, why is Jollibee spaghetti so sweet? Jollibee spaghetti has a unique flavor profile that sets it apart from traditional Italian spaghetti. It features a sweet-style sauce made from a blend of tomato sauce, sugar, and a hint of banana ketchup, giving it a distinct sweetness. Interesting.
I know. Does banana ketchup have tomatoes in it? I don't know. I should do research before I eat food. But I don't. I just order what I think's good and then I eat it. This isn't an educational program. This is just an eating show. You know, it's just an eating show. And there's not even much show to it.
So that's one thing that I do like about Candy is that, in my opinion, she's pretty self-aware. She makes a lot of deprecating jokes, which, maybe that's not the best thing, but I can definitely relate to that. I think she understands that what her content is. She understands who's watching it and why they're watching it, and she is fully aware of that, right? And she doesn't try and act like it's something that it's not. And that's something that in general, I appreciate with her. If I were to compare her to another, one of our other co-hosts on the channel, Amberlyn Reed, there's a very big difference, right? I think Amberlyn Reed is relatively aware of her audience, but she tries to act as though she's not aware of it, right? She's like, no, it's mainly people that are this. I think Candy is like, I know why people are here. I know what they care about. I know why, like, she is fully aware of that. And that's something that I can appreciate. Is it something that I agree with and think that she should continue doing? Maybe not, but I can at least appreciate her being honest with herself and others.
I don't have much going on typically in my everyday life. If y'all have been here any length of time, y'all should know that by now. But if you're new here, I am basically a shut-in. I don't really go anywhere, don't really do anything. And I spend most of my days my days I sleep. I'm a night person. So at night, there's not much to do but just hang out with my friends online or watch TV, both. Play video games. I should have more hobbies than just playing video games. I do listen to audiobooks as kind of like background for when I'm doing stuff like my makeup or...
And it's just like, it's sad to hear that, right? Because it sounds like there is a desire to have more of a quote unquote life, but it's almost that she feels that that's not possible. And like, obviously, the criticism would be, try and get your weight and mobility in order to where you can do that stuff, right? And I do think that would be such a huge positive, right? Like to go from feeling like I am basically trapped in my house, but with her especially trapped in your body, to being able to move a little bit more, for like getting out of the house and just going somewhere, for that not to be such a huge monumental task, right? It really would be such a huge benefit for her. And I'm sure she knows that, right? And it's just sad to see her in the position that she's in, right? It's sad to see that.
Cleaning up around my room and stuff. I've been taking it easy. I'm still trying to move. See, I don't even know, because I didn't post on this channel about what happened and why I didn't do a video. And I posted on my other channel why. It's because I hurt my hip trying to exercise
So she's talking about the post that we just read.
in bed. But the last like 3 or 4 days.
And that's what's such a bummer, is that that is one of the things that can happen, right, when you're exercising. And that's why it's so important to know your limits. And like whenever I'm like working with a client or whatever, it's like I'm always saying, don't let perfect get in the way of good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Do what you can in the moment. And especially with working out, I mean, obviously this is probably not going to be the best advice for Candy because of what she can do. But if you're someone watching this and you're someone that wants to work out, trying to go to the gym and like do the perfect workout, one, you're going to be unbelievably sore, right? You're probably going to be stressed out because there's going to be so much stuff that you don't understand. But more than anything, you're going to be super, super sore if you're coming from not working out at all, right? And so I always recommend people go do less than you think you should because you're probably going to be more sore than you thought you would be. The issue is a lot of times people do everything that they think that they quote unquote should, and then they are so sore for a week, they don't go to the gym. And then it's really hard. Either they never go back or they maybe go back again, they get sore again, and then it's just really hard to get that routine in. So the best thing to do when you're first starting out, do less than you think you should. If you want to do some cardio, that's going to be something that's not going to cause as much soreness, right, as doing like a leg day or something, right? So you can maybe go a little bit harder on that, still take it easy, and just build up from there. And so it's a bummer. It really is a bummer to hear that if that is what happened, right, she was trying to work out at home and then she ended up getting hurt or like tweaking something, that can be really demotivating. So I hope that more than anything, I hope this doesn't demotivate Candy from wanting to continue trying, because like, at the end of the day, as long as you are trying, you're not giving up, right? And I don't want to see Candy give up. I want to see her continue trying.
I've been taking a lot of extra like supplements, vitamin supplements, and I couldn't tell you if that's what's helping or if me trying to clean up my diet on my off days is helping. I don't know.
I mean, I would argue that probably the diet is going to be making a bigger impact for sure.
Inflammation's down a lot the last couple of days, so I'm happy. Knock on wood. I take all gummy vitamins too. If I had pills, like the big nasty supplement pills, I wouldn't take them. I'd be like,
I understand this, dude. Some supplements, like currently I'm taking every day. I don't take much supplements, but one supplement I'm taking right now is lysine because I get a lot of cold sores, which are very annoying. The biggest thing is as you guys can see, probably they leave these red marks under my lips because I get all my cold sores on my bottom lip. And so that's really annoying, but I'm taking lysine. A lot of people say that it supposedly helps if you take it every day. I don't know. It might be some bro science, but I'm trying everything that I can to avoid these freaking cold sores. But they're freaking huge pills. They're like as big as they could be. And it would be nice if I didn't have to take freaking horse pills for these, but it is what it is. So I understand that.
Ew, I don't want that. But if I have all like gummy vitamins, it's like getting a snack. The emergency ones, the gummies that have ginger and turmeric in it because that's good for inflammation. So I've been taking that. Then I've been taking these other ones.
I just want to say I am aware of how silly it is to watch someone talk about they're taking an emergency while this is what they're eating. You know, it's like that's one of the best, like that's one of the things, right, with supplements is that it's not something you should really worry about too much unless you have a pretty clean, not clean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but like your diet's pretty much in check, your sleep's pretty much in check, your nutrition, your hydration, all of that stuff is pretty much in check. Then maybe it's time to explore supplements. But up until then, like, and I'm not saying it to be gatekeepy, I'm saying it because you don't need to waste the money, right? Like spend the time and effort on the big things, right? The big, like the foundations, the coaching that I do, right? I titled it Foundations because that's the way I see it, right? You focus on the foundations, right? You focus on sleep. Obviously, diet is incredibly important. All of those things, the building blocks before you're worried about, like if you think of it as a pyramid, right? The foundation is here. And supplements are going to be at the very tippy top. Like that's something that you don't need to worry about until much later on. And so I just want to say it's not lost on me hearing her talk about supplements while eating this.
Magnesium. And I think a couple of other things for like a calming effect. The only thing I'm kind of lacking in is potassium. But I've been getting like vitamin D, vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, what else? B12. So My hip's actually been feeling pretty good the last few days. I've been like so thankful.
That's good news.
And when I move, I'm trying to move deliberately. You know, like really paying attention to my muscles. Because this hip, I swear, and it's the belly putting pressure on my legs. And I know I haven't had a diagnosis, but the way I feel the hip, like actually like popping in and out of the joint, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm wondering if it's like hip dysplasia or whatever. But my doctor has never gotten back in touch with me, and I've called multiple times to try to get to actually speak with him, and I've left messages. So yeah, I mean, I know I need to do a face-to-face, but y'all, this hip is so bad, I cannot lift it up by myself to put it into a car, okay? Oh, I can't even lift it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the frustration there for sure. And I mean, hopefully she's able to see someone as soon as possible, right? And hopefully they're able to make it work for her. But at the same time, you know, it is important to take this stuff into your hands and just go when you can, right? Like eventually, Candy, hopefully your hip is better to where you can get into a car, and like one of your first priorities should be like, I need to go see someone about this, and not just kind of like hope it goes away, right?
Leg, and I need a lot of help. And if I have somebody take me in the wheelchair, you know, they still have to like lift my leg and shove it in the door of the car, or shove it into the car. But I'm trying to exercise more. I'm actually like laying in the bed and like getting my hand up under my leg and lifting it up. And I feel the hip like it like goes pop, 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 pop as I'm lifting it up. And I'm like, this sucker is locked up tight. I'm like, Lord have mercy. But it's starting to loosen up a little bit. So I'm doing like standing and sitting and standing and sitting, and I know y'all don't give a damn. I mean, and the people that do are on the other channels.
And so that's incredibly interesting, right? When I saw that part, I was like, wow, it's interesting to see that acknowledgement there, right? Because she is acknowledging that she is talking about her weight, and also because again, this was her main channel, she's acknowledging that the audience on the main channel, for the most part, don't care, right? If you look at the comments, you know, it's a lot of people that care, but those are the people that are leaving comments. I think the majority of people that are watching Candy's videos are not engaging with them, right? They want to see Candy eat, and they're not leaving comments or leaving any really like engagement there, right? And so it's very interesting because there is these two different like things that are going on. Candy on her main channel, which is Hungry Fat Chick, where she's eating, and then Candy on her second channel, Missouri Darkstar, where she's talking about the weight. And it's like these two conflicting things, you know? It's like literally like angel and devil on the shoulder, right? It's these two conflicting things that she basically kind of, in her mind, I'm sure, feels that she has to do. And it's like, how do I balance these to where one isn't overtaking another one, and I'm like, you know, kind of quelling everyone and trying to make everyone happy, right?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't even be bringing any of this up, especially with food in front of me. But this is the job. So I'm counting the calories. I know the fried stuff isn't good for my hip, and the pasta really isn't, and the potatoes. But it is what it is. So, but I've counted every damn calorie, and I'm going to enjoy them. And I still have calories left over for the rest of the day. You know, so I could still have, you know, something. A couple of bags of 100-calorie popcorn, or, you know, a couple of little 60-calorie popsicles. You know, something. Or a salad. I've got salads in my fridge. Little salads. They're like like around 300 calories or so. Yeah, I mean, I'm serious. This is my life now. You know, and people can be negative about it and say it's never going to happen. But my mind is in the right place, you know. But after being...
So what she's mentioning there, right, is the fact that she is, you know, she is trying to lose weight. And I do think that since like the beginning of the year, we've been talking about her. I think she has like quote unquote lost, you know, maybe 20 pounds, you know, it's nothing crazy. Maybe it's a little bit less than that. It's definitely not a significant amount of weight. And like, obviously if she was completely locked in and like completely focusing on this and not trying to do the mukbang stuff, I think that number could be significantly higher. But, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to see the silver lining, but I mean, at least she's not gaining a significant amount of weight. It's just, I don't know. It's just scary, man. Like seeing Candy, because again, she is someone that I feel for her. I think that the decisions that she makes, I can understand them in a kind of messed up way, I think, as like a content creator. This is her job kind of thing. But at the same time, there's always that argument, and people leave it in the comments, and I can't really argue with them because they're not wrong, right? It's like, at what point is your health and your life more important than that check, right? And I think that I'm not sure if that we'll ever get to the point where Candy is like, I am going to not do mukbangs anymore at all. Because I think that the way that she sees it, that is the only way that she can make money on the internet, right? And that's really the only job that she can have. It's just, I mean, I've said it a million times, it's a very interesting position.
I'm diagnosed with diabetes, you know. It don't matter if I eat fruit or eat healthy stuff. If it's not exactly what somebody thinks is going to be healthy for me, you know, they got a problem. And be like, is so much sugar.
I mean, okay, yes, but also, like, come on. Look what you're eating here. Let's be honest with ourselves. Come on, you know?
Like, yeah, half of the stuff I eat is sugar. Calorie counting is about as deep as I'm going to go now. You know, I've already, like, shot away from every little fad diet that I had in my brain. The only really good thing about carnivore is it took the deciding away. You know, it took the worry away about the sugars and stuff like that.
That's a huge, I mean, it's so interesting to hear her say that, because that's such a huge part of why a lot of these quote unquote fad diets, or just diets that cut out a lot of stuff, or the keto, carnivore, you know, doing no carb, doing whatever, right? Where they take out, or no non-fat, right? Whatever. Where they take out basically a macronutrient, or like carnivore is even more extreme, right? Because there's so little that you can actually eat. It makes it a lot easier to be in a deficit. It makes it a lot easier to not have as much choice, right? You don't have that paralysis by analysis. You're just like, this is what I'm going to have. That's it, right? And so that's one of the benefits. A lot of times it's also a downfall, because eventually you're just like, I need to eat something else. I want something different. And then you have something different, and then it spirals and spirals and spirals, right? And so I think that's what happened with Candy. It's what happens with a lot of people. So that's why I usually don't say, hey, you should do carnivore, or, you know, because it just, long term, a lot of times it just doesn't work out.
You know, and I did lose a lot of inflammation, and I lost weight fairly quickly. But I don't know. I just want to do it low and slow. You know, and I want to do it just eating regular food. That's what I've been doing the last few days. It's like trying to heal my health, just so I can get up and do stuff. You know, I spent like a day and a half just going from the bedroom to the bathroom and back. I didn't even really get to eat on those days.
So, you know, it clearly seems that we're in a rough place right now, but I will say that there's at least like a little bit of a silver lining, which is this post right here. So this was uploaded one day ago, right? And it goes on to say, I went out with some friends visiting Las Vegas. I felt safe and comfy with them. I was picked up with a scooter at my door, and they have a van with a lift. So even though it was still a Herculean task to get me out, it was so worth it. My friend's Heather, literally one of my absolute favorite people in the whole world. I love her so, so, so much. As I was sitting on my rollator by the open door waiting for John, Heather's husband, to come by with a scooter. It was so nice. I felt brave, like I could get out and do anything. Well, at least maybe go for a slow walk around my building at some point. I think I can, right? And then she has some pictures of what she ended up doing, right? And the people that she ended up being with. And like, you know, obviously it's not like, oh my God, that's the craziest thing. I can't believe you did that much. But, you know, I think celebrating when someone is trying, you know, yeah, like she went out to eat, right? People could have a problem with that. But the fact that she's getting out of the house, I think is good, you know, especially from that post right before where she was not even able to get out of bed. But that's why I said, like, at the beginning of this video, it has been a roller coaster ride. It's very much so up and down. There's lots of highs. There's lots of lows. I don't even know if you'd say they're highs, but there's a lot of less low lows maybe. And like, I don't know. I sit here and I hope the best for Candy. And I think that anyone that puts even a little thought can say, hey, the best thing to do is probably not doing these mukbangs. And I'm sure that she would even agree with that. But I just don't think that she feels that that's actually possible, because she will be out of job, out of money. She won't know what to do, right? And I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is the answer. You should just do this. Like, I genuinely believe, and people would disagree with me, but I think if she started doing like weight loss vlogs on her main channel, most people aren't going to watch that. Like, there might be a few people at the start, but if she continued doing that for, because she would have to lose weight for a pretty long time, right? At least a year to lose a significant amount of weight. The amount of AdSense and money that she would lose doing that, I think, is pretty significant. And I'm not saying that, that means that she can't do it. I'm just saying that is something that I understand that she considers, and I understand why. I wish that it wasn't that way. I wish that she was able to find a job that didn't have to rely on eating on YouTube. I really do. I don't know what that job would be. If you're someone that has an idea, please, of course, leave it down in the comments. But I really don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting with Candy. That's kind of how I feel. It's a very interesting situation. I always talk about that. I would love to know what you guys think down in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.